Ah, wow. Okay, so right there you can see that I wanted to get that intro down because I know the melody of this tune, and despite some sort of block chord stuff that Oscar's doing in it, I don't really need to focus too much on the melody, but that intro, I really wanted to get that intro down. What a great opener. What a really cool thing to go 1, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Like, it's just kind of a neat little rhythmic thing that they did, especially with the descending, starting on F major, that was not F major, and then go down, E flat dominant, D flat dominant, right? It's just a cool way to kind of set up the intro without being too long. Let's keep going. I have a little bit of background in this, but you can see how like it takes time to kind of piece this stuff together, but you can also see how important it is to know it in your ear before you try this, because I've heard it so many times, I'm familiar with it, and I understand where it's going, and I just confirm it by playing along, and if it sounds like it lines up, then I know it's right. When you try to transcribe something that you don't know by ear so well, oh my God, it's so much harder. You'd have to go note for note for note for note and really learn it from scratch, and then you don't have the context of understanding the feel and the phrasing and things that you would know if you'd listen to it over and over again. The best way to transcribe anything is by ear, and what I'm doing right now, which is just bounce it off the recording, and now I'm starting to apply it to the keyboard and just making sure as I go along the way that all of my notes are correct, it lines up, and then I'm just gonna start trying to piece together sections on top of each other. By playing along with the record, you get the feel, you get the phrasing, and that's how you develop a really good feel, sense of time. If it's jazz and you're trying to develop your swing feel, this is the best way to do it. Oh, okay. So secondary dominant here. So it's also helpful to understand sometimes, like, what are the chords doing at that given moment? Like, you're doing a 2-5-1, so like right here we were doing a 2 flipped to a dominant, so secondary dominant on the 2, and then a 5-1. So I was able to say, make the assumption that it was going to land there because I know we're going to the 5 chord next, and that's where we are in the tune. You know, and once you break it down like that, that line's really not that hard. I think that's it. I think that's how it goes. This is a binary form tune, so it's got 2 halves, right? We're in the first half of the first chorus. Yikes. This is such a tedious process, but this is how you get better. If I sit here and I play this, it's only a matter of time before that line becomes a part of my hand, becomes a part of my vocabulary, and I can play that line. And, you know, maybe I don't choose to play exactly that because, you know, I don't want to necessarily be an Oscar replica, but to have that in your vocabulary, to understand how that line is constructed, and to understand like, oh, okay, like this is kind of like it fits the hand, and I get that type of navigation of a dominant chord These are the things that you collect over time and you just input them into your own vocabulary. That is what helps you learn whatever genre you're trying to learn. All you have to do is just copy it. Honestly, that is the key. You just need to copy whatever it is you want to sound like. And then once you have that basis, do whatever you want with it, right? It's an exercise physically, it's an exercise mentally, and it's building your vocabulary. You're learning more of this language, and that is never a bad thing. All right, let's see how much of this we can string together of this first part. Not great, not very good, but we're getting there. We're getting somewhere. Whew, wow, Oscar. Jeez, man. But you see, like, you can just sit here all day and just continue this process just bit by bit. It's a long, tedious process. You'll spend hours and hours and hours doing it. And I'm not going to spend hours and hours doing it here because that would just be no fun to watch for anybody. But it's probably the most important thing you can do. Take the time to choose things to improvise. Choose anything you want to sound like, anything you want to be able to do, and just listen to it until you can sing along with it. You know it totally subconsciously. And then only after that, take it to your instrument and start working it out. I haven't written down a single note. I have sketched nothing out. I'm of the mindset that you don't want to do that because then the sheet music becomes a crutch. Because if you're reading, your brain is doing multiple things at once rather than just listening and playing and lining everything up together. I have written things down in the past and I've noticed a disconnect between learning it and truly understanding it and being able to play with recording. Like, it's not the same thing. Is it harder? Does it take longer? Yes, but this is not an instant process. I mean, you gotta remember, I've been doing this for half an hour now, but I have a background with this tune. I know it really, really, really well because I've listened to it for years since I was a kid. It's one of the tunes that got me excited about Oscar and about playing jazz. Furthermore, I have messed around with this in the past. When you are fresh on the material, it takes longer. It's hard and it's hard to focus and it's hard to do it continuously, but it is worth it. If you do nothing else, just focus and listen and eventually start to take it apart. And try not to rush it because this is going to do absolute wonders for you as a musician. And it's not that this is the correct way to play jazz. Like, no, it's nothing to do with that at all. It's simply that in order to progress further, it is helpful to know where it came from. And not only that, but wow, what great exercises. I mean, it's like playing Bach for jazz musicians. It's a workout, it really is. Whatever you choose to play, whatever you want to sound like, transcribe. Transcribe and do it this way. Listen to it until you know it and then work it out bit by bit. Don't write any music down, don't read any music. You will get incredibly far and you will be incredibly proud of yourself. And that's it. That's all we're gonna do for today. Again, check out the extended version. This is just a little look inside what it actually looks like for me to sit here and transcribe something. And I would highly encourage you to do the same. But make it part of your practice routine. Try to do it maybe a few times a week. It's an incredibly valuable tool and it's something that all musicians should be familiar with and should have a regular practice doing. Including myself. I need to take my own advice on that. But anyways, that's gonna do it for today. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for your time and we will see you in the next video.